What's going on, YouTubers? Luis here. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's enjoying these videos of this pretty much truck restoration that I'm involved in here. We're making a lot of progress. We're actually getting pretty close to the finish line here, which I'm pretty excited about. But I appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. It means a lot to me, especially since I got involved with this headache. But you know what? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. But anyways, in this video, it's showing me putting the bed back on the truck. So now originally, if you go back to the other videos, we utilized two wreckers, and we lifted the two we used the hydraulic legs of the lift of the wrecker bed to lift the back end up, and then we blocked it, and then we used the two wreckers to lift the boom end up, and it worked well. We got it done, but I didn't want to install it that way, considering my buddy's two wreckers are running conventional wheelless as opposed to the integrateds that fold up and get out of the way. I had to actually run over his wheel lift, which I didn't really like doing, and I didn't want to do it on the install because I had to be perfectly lined up. And in the event I wasn't lined up with the bed perfect, that means I would have to go back over it and then over it again. So I wanted to tackle this a little bit differently without involving a crane or a rotator or anything that nature. I had to kind of think outside the box. So in this video, you actually watch me lift it up with my Kenworth, which is a 15,000 pound bed, and block it up, and then just keep repeating the process until I pretty much had the cribbing about right here on the wrecker bed. So pretty much where that mast is where I had my cribbing. And the reason I did it that way was I wanted to get my tandems to a point that if I needed to utilize a floor jack with cribbing to keep this up, I could. So in other words, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just be able to drive underneath it and then lower it down. But we ended up, if you're watching the video, we ended up using two forklifts. And the forklifts that we were using they're really not that big forklifts. You know, they were probably like 7,000-8,000 pound forklifts. And the other issue too with them is that since my tandems are in the way and I got to be able to drive underneath it, the forklifts can't get close enough to the body. So that leverage there makes them prone to tipping. So we ended up putting one forklift on this side and one on the other side. And we didn't chain up to this because this bar's really not that heavy of a gauge. So we ended up running out chains through this 1/2-inch plate and around, as you can see there, two grade 100 1/2-inch chains to lift it up. And I only had to lift it about 1/4 of an inch, enough to get it off the cribbing and for me to drive underneath it. So in this video, you'll actually see how we accomplished it, and it went pretty easy. I think it took us 20 minutes from start to finish. Nobody got hurt, nothing got destroyed, but a little of an unconventional way of installing it. But you know, I'm using what I have available to me. So you know, we made it happen, and as of today, the wrecker body is mounted and the hydraulics are working. The bed's completely bolted down. So my next order of measure is to actually paint the underside of the bed and then put my toolboxes on. And then I'll slowly address all of this here. This is going to be time consuming just because it's such a dirty area. It's just contaminated with all types of stuff and a little rust here and there. So I'm going to take my time doing that one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and hit like and subscribe, and thanks for supporting this channel.
Ray.